I'm Chris Michand, and currently run Felix, a technology accessories company, and used to be the chief operating officer at Continuum. When we talk about design thinking, it's a pretty broad definition for a process, for an approach, and I think one of the minuses of it is it's often not well understood exactly what that process is. It's seen as just the creative process oftentimes, but I continually think about it as much more. It's not just the creative process; it's the creative and execution of an idea. And I think that's really important because design thinking, we tend to really emphasize when people talk about it. You emphasize all the effort that goes into, nonlinear thought, irrational thought, abstract thinking, abductive thinking, and that's all a critical part of it. But equally important is all the deductive logic that goes into it, and all the rational thought that goes into it. Because at the end of the day, if you can't bridge the chasm between a creative idea and an idea that can be executed in the market, then that idea is not worth anything. So I think sometimes people get uncomfortable with the creative process or design thinking because we're not doing a good enough job articulating that it's not just a creative process, it's the process of pulling an idea all the way through. I think one of the most effective parts of design thinking is the human-centered focus of it and the commitment to stepping back from a problem and finding a new problem to solve. I think that in its essence is probably one of the most valuable parts of design thinking. When done properly, a team can look at what's going on in a consumer's life and take a step back from it and try to look at new problems to solve. And if you can identify new problems to solve, you're much more likely to get a breakthrough innovation. So I think that's probably one of the most important parts of design thinking is finding new problems. And you have to accept that at the beginning of a project, you don't even know what problem you're trying to solve. Our client comes in with I'd say about half the cases, they come in with a very well-defined problem. They say, we want to solve this problem. And we'll have some early discussion saying, are we sure that's the right problem to solve? Is this really the problem to solve? And sometimes it absolutely is. But more often than not, it's stepping back from it and looking at it a little more openly. We're able to find a problem that no one's ever really articulated. And if we solve that problem, if it's the right problem, there can be great value in doing that. Anywhere there is human interaction involved and a human component to it, I think there's a space for it. There are certainly marketplaces that are much more human, consumer-centered. It starts to be less applicable once you go into industrial spaces. So if you're looking at automating a robotics line, that's a little bit harder to apply some of the principles of design thinking to, because there aren't humans involved in the process so much. But even there, a lot of times you look at it and you go, well, where's the problem reside? Is it that you need faster, better robots, in which case we're probably not the right group to help you do that? Or is it that people have a hard time financing it or understanding how it's going to improve there? Those are communication issues. Those are human-to-human communication issues that we can solve for, that we can innovate and find better ways to help with financing, to find better ways to help with communication of what the product does, what the benefits are. These are operator issues. So you've got this great manufacturing robotics line, but when it goes down, it's a mess to repair. Those are kind of things that we can work on. But if you think about the heart of design thinking, it circles around a human being. So there are some industries that are less human focused, and it's a little bit less applicable there.